It popped up on your end.
Yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
let me see.
yeah, just go to stay to the point. It should be, you scroll down, it should be the first post. It should be like a timer. And it has the
I
interview
don't see that. I see
live.
my first post is the Eminem post.
Mm, wait, hold on. Let me check one more time then on my
But
side.
Facebook shows you what it wants to show you. Like
Right,
it's
right.
probably on here, but it's just not showing me.
Hold up. Let me see. Let me check the dash real quick. It's sending data. Reconnected. Reconnect. Oh, okay. I know what it is. It's on my side.
So
I had changed my password on Facebook, and
now you got to rechange it in all of the like
every
apps and all
single,
that. Yeah, everything.
yes, every
Yeah.
single one. So it's like it should be popping up now. Come on, baby. Sending data, sending data. There you go. It should be online now. All right. Now we good on that side.
Okay. Let me check it out. Let me refresh the page. And you said I should see a timer.
Yeah. Right when
There
you.
it is.
There it
Look at
is.
that. Okay, so if I push start, it's gonna watch with friends, but that means it's gonna show it to everybody, or should I push share? Which one do you think works?
You could do share. Share is an
Okay.
easy click, boom, and then it'll show up on your page. So anytime they go on your page, they could actually just go right in. But I don't know when they're gonna go in. So either you could
Okay.
do the watch, and then you can actually invite people. And what it does, it automatically notifies them, hey, you watching uh, this particular interview or show or whatever the case is, and they'll click right into it while we go on live. So
Okay.
you could do share. You could do
All right.
share, and then from there, they can always tune into it. And
All
we
right.
about
I'm gonna
to
share it on my personal page and on my business page.
nice. And we about to go in 15 seconds. No rush though. I'm just
Okay.
gonna go ahead and throw my little promo, and then from
Yeah.
there I introduce you. Now, Shannon or Miss Johnson, which one?
Shannon is
Uh,
totally fine.
okay,
Yes.
cool. Here we go. Now we're
All
going
right.
in.
Yeah, we certified.
What I want my background to look like. I cannot get rid of this thing. See that thing?
I
Like,
see.
no, I don't want people looking at all that. I can't get rid of it. It just stays there.
Yo, 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 this is Stay to the Point Radio. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to Stay to the Point Radio on WFBS 981dual.com. Shout out to JSNLonline.com. You know that is the clothes that we rock, but also Just Culture. Coming soon. Now we are here. And you know my name, Sire Wave, and we have a special person in the building. Well, online, I guess two buildings at the same time. We have Shannan Johnson, which is a big time owner, founder of a writer for your writer.com. You
Yeah.
definitely got to check it out. Anybody that's looking into independent films, movies, she is a specialist, a professional in writing. And this is the woman you want to talk to. Miss Shannon, how are you doing? And of course, Spectrum wants to like, freeze her up just a little bit because they want to, get the right picture in there. But we go wait for a second until she get right back, which should be any second now. And we'll be real good. There you go. There she is. All right, we're good now. There it is. All right, we got you now. You know, we already talked about this, guys. Spectrum. I'm telling you, bro. I have Spectrum. Unfortunately, I have no choice, but I gotta purchase it. I gotta get some internet. But if it's anywhere else you could get internet, please by all means get it, because this is what Spectrum does.
This is
So
what it does.
this is what it does. So like I was saying, Miss Shannon, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I am in Los Angeles, California.
Word.
And even though people always say it never rains here and it's always sunny, those are lies. It is not the truth. But for the last like few days, maybe even the full week, I can't even remember, it's been beautiful out here.
Right.
So I am enjoying it before we get to June gloom. Out here in LA in
Yeah.
June, it's usually like really overcast and not much sun.
Mm.
So I hope that doesn't happen this year. But if so, we're on our way to that. So I'm trying to enjoy our few days of like real sun.
See, and I'm in Texas, and this is actually tomorrow will be a year me being in Texas. And one thing about Texas is the allergies. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it just like it takes your breath, like to the point that I had to ask my coworker. I was like, look, man, I get this little tightness in my chest. Sometimes it's even hard to breathe. It was like, man, that's allergies. I'm like, bro, I don't know how long I'll be able to take this. And see, I'm originally from New York. I'm from the Bronx. And we get all weather, obviously, and
Yeah.
it's extreme to the core. Like you either get super hot or it's just super cold with 4 feet of snow. You know, so for me to be in Texas, it's desert.
Yeah. What part of Texas are you in?
I'm in Killeen, which is
Okay.
what 45 minutes from Austin.
Well, I'm from Houston.
Ooh,
Yeah. So it's
nice.
humid down there in
Yeah,
Houston.
yeah.
So it's like for all the ladies who are still out there rocking relaxers, that humidity does not like it. As soon as you get your hair laid, you about to go right. Boom. You out here looking like who shot John?
Oh snap!
Humidity loves the natural. The natural loves the humidity. So
Right. So what made you go to California? What's
Well, this is where you need to be if you're trying to be in Hollywood.
Oh,
So it's like,
facts.
if you want to be in oil and engineering, you go to Houston, you go to Texas. If you want to
Word.
be in Hollywood, this is where you got to go, out to
Got you.
LA. So here I am.
Got you. Okay. So let's get into it.
Let's do it.
What was the first thought? You know what? This is what I want to do. This is what I want to pursue. This is my career. This is my love. What brought that to play?
Well, it's that story of, I've been dancing since I was 2 years old, right? So the same thing is like true for me wanting to be a writer. My third grade teacher told me I should be a writer after we had our first descriptive in-class assignment. And I spent like several sentences describing a blade of grass. And so she told me then when I was 8, she said, you should be a writer. And of course, when you're a kid, your teachers are like end all be all, right? If they tell you you're good at something or if they encourage you in something, you're thinking like, yeah.
Right.
So I wanted to be a writer since I was 8. I wrote my first chapter novel as a 5th grader. And my teacher allowed me to like read it out loud to class after lunch. So that was really cool.
Nice. Who was that
But
teacher name? What's that teacher's name?
So my 3rd grade teacher was Mrs. Jones. My 5th grade teacher was Mrs. Johnson.
JJ.
J and J, yeah.
J and J.
But they both, encouraged my creativity. My mother has always encouraged my creativity. I was that kid who was always walking around with a book in her purse. So I would have to go to different events with my mother because she was an educator. So she would have like banquets to go to and all these other things. And I would be that kid sitting at the banquet table, like reading a book.
Wow.
She would have to tell me to go to sleep at night, not because I was on the phone, but because I was reading or writing. So I've like always wanted to be in this space.
Special. That's what's up. So okay. So that from that process on, what was the big, all right, I'm gonna create a website. This is what I'm gonna do. Like, what was that like from then on?
So crazy enough, I was just in New York last year for 3 months. So long story short, I used to be a creative executive at the Sci-Fi Channel. And I quit that job to become a performing artist. So I had to move to Washington, D.C., where I was in a dance company, Step Africa, for 2 years. And then I left that so I could do Broadway national tours. So I did like Ghost the Musical and Amazing Grace the Musical and, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of that 8 years, I was in a place of like, okay, transition, right? So even though I had left the world of writing, people were still contacting me like, hey, can you help me on this? Can you help me on that?
Right.
And for some time, I wasn't even charging people, because I'm like, oh, they're my friends. You're just asking me to use my skill, whatever.
Right.
Eventually, I started making it my side hustle, right?
Right.
Because it's like, if you have a skill, you need to put a value on that thing.
Absolutely.
And go ahead and,
know your worth. You got to know your worth.
Exactly.
Right.
You got to know your
right.
worth. So I went out to New York last year for about 3 months, like July through September. And I said, all right, we're going to hit the ground running. We're going to audition and we're going to get into one of these Broadway shows. And if not, then we're just going to move back to LA because this is my third time living in LA. So I was like, well, I'll move back to LA and I'll just get back into development and get back into doing what I was doing. But while I was there in New York, I wasn't having much luck on the auditioning side because so many of the shows are union these days that I couldn't even get in to be seen. Right. So it's one thing to get in and they say, you're terrible, go away. It's like, right. Okay. But it's a whole nother thing to not even get a chance to like showcase your talent. Right. So that was very discouraging. Right. But while I was going through that process, I was getting clients for my writing services just being thrown at me. Like I wasn't looking for them. Right. But they were just coming out of nowhere and out of the blue.
Word of
mouth.
So
I just started getting like hit over the head with like, what are you doing? You're going down the wrong path. So I eventually did book a show, and a week before that show, I called them and told them I spent all that time auditioning, trying to get into a show. By the time I got into one, out to LA. So I called that show like on a Monday. And by Friday, I had moved to LA.
Wow.
Yeah. So at that point, it was like, all right, so we're doing this to entrepreneur life. So let's get the website going. Let's get the services listed. Let's start marketing. Let's start finding people. So yeah, I've just been grinding ever since.
Wise. Now, are you said people? Now you have a team?
No, just me.
It's just you.
Just me.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got a motor.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's dope. So that whole process of going through, how can I say this? What was the biggest movie that you have done? What was the biggest film or help that you provided to uplift something so big? And when I say,
well, most of the stuff that I'm working on now are not things that I can talk about, right? Because you got to wait until it actually gets done and actually gets out there.
Correct. Right.
But before then, being at the Sci-Fi Channel, I got to work on Being Human and Haven and Warehouse 13 and Stargate Universe and all those kind of shows. And it was great because you got to see it start from the pilot. And for people who don't know what the pilot is, that's the very first episode of any show you ever see. It's called the pilot. So being able to be there with the writers while they're writing that pilot and while they're casting and while they're deciding what the sets look like and while they're deciding what the wardrobe is going to look like and just figuring out what you're going to do with the marketing, with the branding, and how we're going to have a digital space online, like being a part of that whole process was just eye-opening to me,
Right.
And so that's the kind of space that I want to be in. So because I have that experience, and then also because I have been an actor, so I know what that part of the process is as well.
Right.
And because my education is in writing, I'm able to bring those three things together.
What was the process like creating the website itself? What was it? I want to say the website, but what was it to first know? All right, this is the direction I want to go. This is the way I want to go with the services and everything like that. The experiences that obviously that you had in the broad plays, those plays I know off the back. I've been through a couple plays. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that I've been many. I maybe been to one or two as a kid. So I couldn't tell you but I had favorite shows. Like one of my favorite shows, I'm gonna get off topic for a second, was Whose Line Is It? Anyways, I don't know if you remember that show with my man Brady. And I think you froze again. Did you freeze? Yes, you did freeze. I hope I get you back. There we go. Here we go. You good?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Did you? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Did you
So
get what I get? What I
yeah,
said?
I
Okay.
got your question.
Okay.
So that's a good question. And I think at some point I had to say to myself, okay, I'm a consultant, right? Which means I'm here to help you do your job as a writer.
Mm-hmm.
If I want people to trust me to help them, then I also need to trust people who have mastered their field of expertise, right? So I've done a few consultations with other people who know about business, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and because my degrees are in English and journalism and film, and within the film program at Florida State, it's a dual program with three departments. So the film school, the theater department, and the creative writing department.
Wow.
So my skills come from several different places. So I was trying to do all of that, right?
Right.
And I met with a woman, and she was like, "You're doing too much." You know, she was like, you've got to sell the one thing that you do really well, because if not,
Right.
then people are going to come to your website and get confused.
Right. Right.
You know?
Right.
And she said, so what is your end goal? And I said, well, my end goal is to be that go-to person, not only for writers, but for studios and for networks, you know, for the machines that need people to do what I do.
Right.
And she said, okay, so then that's what you need to sell, so that you can get good at that, and eventually those people will see you in that place. So even though I still do editing services for books and plays, etc., I don't market it. So only people who know that I do that, or only people who take the time to reach out to me about that, will know about it. But it's not on my website anywhere. I am strictly doing screenplays. So it took me a second to get there. It really did. Because this was my side hustle, I think I started my website maybe a year or two ago. This is so the business being a full-time job is new, but having the website and all my services and stuff is not. So streamlining it helped. But then I got another consultant who teaches you how to build your own courses. So I knew I wanted to be able to teach online, because I know I have skills to give out, right? So I was like, well, how do I do this? And I was trying to figure it out on my own. But here was this beautiful Black woman, her name is Danielle Leslie, and she was like, I can show you how to do that. And of course, she cost a pretty penny, as she should, because she's giving you so much information. But I said again to myself, I want people to trust me as a consultant. So that means I have to trust other people.
Exactly.
You know, and I did. And I learned so much from her class. And so I was able to do my class, I mean, very quickly after that. You know, after getting her information, I was able to do my class pretty quickly. And then now I'm doing it again. So I think just understanding what your strengths and weaknesses are as a business person is big. First of all, everybody's not meant to be a business person, a businessman. Everybody's not meant to own their own business, because it's more than just your skill set of doing your creative thing or making your product. Like there's customer service, there's email follow-up, you know what I mean? Like there's marketing, there's so many other things. And a lot of us end up failing because we won't reach out for help. Right. We don't think it's important that.
So it's like, man, for you, that's exhausting. Like, personally, I started this podcast.
It is
about a year. It's been about a year and a half that I had this podcast. And personally, like, you know, the viewers has been coming in, people been interested. There actually has been people that's been reaching out, which thank God is a blessing. I also promote independent artists, musicians, from R&B and hip hop, that I put up here as well. I'm starting working on doing little commercials and stuff like that me and my partner are doing. And also I'm doing a clothing line, which is called Just Culture. So it's like that personally, I always wanted to do since I was a kid, which is Just Culture, the clothing line, just being able to let my creative juices flow. I used to be an artist. I used to rap, you know, everybody rap. I know everybody, their mama rap. Anybody could put two words together, but I was brought up in the 90s of hip hop from the Bronx. So the Nas, the Jay-Z's, like I was brought up in, you had to really sit down and have a pencil, or actually a pen. If you had skills, you had a pen and a paper, and you went in on a beat, but you want to be as clever and as witty as you could be.
Yeah, you want to tell a story.
You want to tell a story. Nas was my biggest is my biggest rapper that I followed the most. Like with him telling the story backwards from him it's just I remember a song, it's called It Was Written. He was described himself as a gun. Like that's amazing to me. You know, and coming from where I came from, it's just like those are your heroes at that time. Like you got your basketball players and all, and I mean Michael Jordan was my number one. Obviously now is LeBron James. So it's like those guys bring a responsibility as well. So with that responsibility comes the learning process. You had to start from the bottom to the top, and that's where I'm at right now, where it's great to hear like what you telling your story of the process, that it came from the age of being 3 years old where a teacher's telling you, you know what, you should be a writer. And that spark that just took you to the next level is so dope. That's why it's so important that when something so big like that, the slightest thing could throw you right off.
Yep.
Literally. That's why, trust me, like for you to do this by yourself is amazing, but I can understand why. Because you can't put your vision on other people's eyes.
Yeah, well, you know, mostly because you can't expect for them to treat it like their baby, because it isn't.
Yes.
You know? So it's really about the expectation. So that's, you know, the reason why if I know that this is my area of weakness, I'm going to go find someone who can teach me how to do that. Or if I can contract out to them, you know what I mean? Like, hey, how about you do this part?
Right.
Great. But it makes them responsible for the thing that they're getting paid to do, versus just being part of your team and having the same expectation that they're going to grind like you do, stay up all night like you do all this. Like, they're not going to do that because it's not their baby. They're putting that kind of time into their own baby.
But the key word you said, paid for.
Yeah.
So now they have to, you know, that motivates.
Yeah.
Them
because
from
that's
going.
Their job. If they are a marketing expert,
right,
and I need them to do marketing, I'm paying them to do their job, the thing that they grind for all night, the thing that they stay up all night to do, because they're saying that's what they do. Now, we live in an age of social media, so everybody says they do all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really mean. Yeah. I just put on my Facebook the other day, like, Instagram, define public figure. Because all kinds of people have it in their profile that they're a public figure. And I'm like, what are you doing for the public?
No,
you know
no. What it is they are on social media, right? Which they consider the public, and their face is on it. So public figure. That's all that is. I mean, at the end of the day, like everybody is chasing. It's like a rapper.
Fame. They're chasing fame.
Right.
And they're chasing money, and they'll do anything to get there.
But where's their goal? They don't have one.
They don't have.
They just know they want to get after the money, and they want to be successful. And
but what kind of place would this be if you could do both? Like, if you could get that fame and that money by doing something that you actually want to do. And I think that just goes back to being a teacher and figuring out what your students' strengths and weaknesses are, and encouraging them in the place where they strive.
Amen.
That, you know, because then now you have people who know what they're good at, and then they start to like it and have passion about it, and then now they can make a career out of doing that.
But you know what? The problem is they automatically think that they're leaders. You have to learn how to follow before you lead. Yeah. And people get confused of that. Like they automatically think that they know. You know, I seen it. You know, oh, you seen it. Okay, well, yeah, my friend did it. Oh, okay, I seen his mistakes. Now I got it from here. Wait, I mean, that's not how it works. I mean, there's got to be more to it. And see, like my situation is, and that's why my whole rap career went down. It's because, one, that's not something that I truly wanted to do. I enjoyed writing. I enjoyed being wicked. Not wicked, but witty. Have, you know, punchlines where it could go over people's heads. Being in the studio, that was my therapy. I was going through I went through a rough period of time at one point in my life, and that was my scapegoat. You know, if it wasn't smoking, which thank God I got rid of that, it was the music. And but one thing about it is with music, you get or anything that you do, you get that career. Oh man, you should do this, you should do that, and then before you know it, you trying to do that off of what somebody said, versus you don't sit back and you just, you know what, is this what I really want to do? They just jump for whatever sounds right. Oh, I can make this much money? That's not how it works. You have to have a passion for it. So when you fall on your face, you're willing to get back up and do it all over again. And you froze again. But it's all good because you coming back. There you go. All right, we're good.
Yeah, but listening to what you just said, I think is very powerful because a lot of people miss that. Like figuring out what it is that you really liked about what you were doing.
Right.
And then figuring out how to put your energy into that. There are plenty of people who are out here participating in things and not realizing like, but this is not the thing I want to do. Like it helps you to realize it's not rapping I like, it's writing that I like.
Right.
Now you can put your energy into writing and not rapping, which has its own thing of like, people got to get to know you and you got to put, post this up. You need this kind of views. But that's not even the thing that you, you know what I'm saying, that you want. Yeah. So that's like very big. And I think, anybody who's listening, that's what you got to figure out. Like, which part of the process is it that you're enjoying?
Right.
And then that's the part that you put your energy into, and you can find your fame or your money or whatever it is that's supposed to come from that. But you're not going to find it by falsely doing all the rest of the stuff because you think that that's the thing that's going to get you there. You know what I mean?
But see, one thing about it is this is the battle right here, though, Shannon. Like, honestly, all right, I have my clothing line, right, that I truly want to put out. And not only because it's not about the money, because I'm not trying to be cocky or anything, but we're doing really well. And it's not about that. It's about putting my creative juices, like I said, into something where you could put this shirt on and it describes exactly who you are without saying one word. And then taking it from there. They're going to love your stuff. Oh man, the colors. I love the bright colors. I love the way you put these together. I love to enjoy doing that. Yeah. But when it comes down to that, here comes the promotion part. I don't mind the promotion part. But with that promotion part, that means I got to be on Instagram and show my face on a regular basis and then just pop up every live at a certain time. Hey guys, I'm eating right now. I'm eating cereal, but hey, I just wanted to let you know, like, I can't do that.
But look, let me tell you, because I'm the same way. I don't know how old you are, but
36.
Okay, great. So we're the same age. I'll be 37 in July.
Dope.
So we come from a time where that looks thirsty. We come from a time where it's like, I'm not supposed to be selling myself at all times because I look like I lack humility, right? But what we have to realize is it's 2019 and the times are going without us. So I had to teach myself that it's not about me being thirsty and it's not about me lacking humility.
Right.
But people want to know you because they want to trust you. And if they feel like they know you and trust you, they will purchase from you. And this is coming from somebody who I had my Instagram page for at least 3 or 4 years. I got my most likes when 4 years later, I posted my face. I have been posting my services. I have been posting, different things that's happening out in Hollywood. This person just bought this. This person got this award. This thing happened, blah, blah, blah. I get a couple of likes here and there. I didn't put my name on my Instagram page until August, last August. I've had this page for 4 years. I didn't put my name up there until last August because I grew up like you thinking personal is over here, business is over here.
Right.
Nobody cares about me or what I'm doing. They just want to know what my service is. Correct. But we don't live in that place anymore. People want to pull the curtain back. They want to know, like, who are you?
Right.
And so if you show them who you are, then they'll go, oh, I know him, so I'll buy from him. And even though they still don't know you, it's Instagram. You don't know me, but they think they do. Right. And now all of a sudden we have this relationship And I'll tell you now, the majority of my clients come from Instagram. And this is simply from me starting to show I didn't put my name up until August 2018. I didn't put my first picture of me up until December 2018.
Right.
And I have been making a living for the last 6 months based on Instagram. So I, and again, I could have been doing that 4 years ago, but there's nothing in me that was going to be like, every time I'm on Instagram, hey, look at me, look what I do, check me out, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I have a lot of young people in my life, and the young people are putting up a video every other day. Like, I have a lot of dancers in my life since I used to be in a dance company and did like, the Broadway shows or whatever.
Right.
So these people are putting up videos every other day.
Right.
But guess what? They're getting booked because they're showing people I have talent. See, we grew up in a time where it's like, no, be humble. If you have talent, people will notice, they'll see it. Just fill out the application. Hopefully someone will get back to you. And these young people are like, no, look at me. I have talent. Book me. And so I had to learn from them to say, I can't be afraid to tell people, like, I'm damn good at what I do.
Right.
Book me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you have to see my face in order to do that, hi, how you doing?
Right.
I'm Shannan. Get to know me, and now I have these services. So I think that that's just something our generation does. Like, we're not taking advantage of social media in that way because we look at it as thirsty. Like, why do we have to be seen and blah, blah, blah? But it's not that at all.
Right.
Like, people are following these celebrities that they've known all this time because they want to see them be regular people.
Right.
They want to see them eating food. Like, oh my God, Nas eats food. It's like, duh, Nas eats food. But because he put up a picture with him and his child eating food, people are like.
Right.
Because we never would have been able to see those kind of things, before now. So the same thing, is true for your business.
Right. And now I got two things. Okay. I hope you don't take this personal. One, I can understand why also they will follow you. Okay. Not only you have fantastic service, not only are you known word of mouth that you're a fantastic writer, and you help this one, you help that one, you help that one, and that clientele, the fact that you went through the plays, the sci-fi, those connections benefit you for today in 2019. But also, don't take this wrong, you are an attractive woman.
Why, thank you.
So with that being said, they see a pretty face. Oh man, you have the cover. The cover is pretty. Like, I always describe it like this: the CD. Okay, nobody just buys a CD because it might look good inside. They gotta. Oh damn, the cover is dope, man. This really dope, man. I'm gonna just check it out, even if the first track sucks. The fact that they slid the CD. By the way, I know people, for the young people that don't know what CDs are, they are see this little circle thing. And yes, you can't find CD players nowhere. You have to go to a little pawn shop to find it. But anyways, you slide a CD in, it could suck or whatever. But the fact that the CD was slid, yes.
But this is why you then have to use that to your advantage. And the reason I'll say that is, I'm not going to say the name of the restaurant because the food was actually decent. Right. However, I saw an ad come through my Instagram, and I don't really pay attention to the ads, but I'm from the South, and this fried food kept coming through my Instagram, right? Fried seafood, actually. And I'm from Houston, so I'm like, ooh, seafood out here in LA, fried seafood.
I do shrimp.
All of their pictures are gorgeous, and it's a food. It's not even of people, right? It's gorgeous. I got to the place, and the only reason I was disappointed is because I had an expectation. The food was still decent, and I probably would have thought it was even better if I had not had that expectation.
Right.
But what you learn from that is, sure, I understand that being an attractive person, I can probably just take a random picture and put it up, and at least one guy is gonna like it because I have breasts. That's just like what it is, right? However, I saw on this same Instagram page, if you go all the way to the bottom, they used to take their own pictures. They didn't look as good. So what they did was they hired a photographer. They got those lights that you set up, right? They got the angles right. And they took the picture to make the food look like it was gorgeous.
Like Burger King and freaking Wendy's and them.
Right. So the same thing is true. It's like, even if you don't consider yourself this attractive person, You can go get one of your friends who's like trying to be a photographer or whatever. You can go out and find some scenery with some flowers behind you,
And
or,
kill
you
it.
know, whatever,
And
put on
kill
your
it.
nice little whatever and do a photo shoot.
And
And
kill it.
now you have different stills that you can pick out for the next 6 months. If you're
Right.
going to put one picture of yourself once a week and
Right.
say something cute at the bottom, right? Like, so there's still ways to like, and I'm learning these things as we go. Cause like I said, I didn't
Right.
put up a picture of myself until December.
Correct.
So
I
this
dig
is
it.
not something that I was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put up. I was like, why would people want to look at me like that? I don't have anything to do with it. But understanding is like, yes, they do want to look at you. So now I
Right.
purposefully, people keep asking me where I get these shots from. I learned this from her name is Brandy, I believe Freely. I set my camera up and I push record on my camera, and I just stand there and kind of look crazy if somebody's walking by, right? Because I'm kind of like posing, you know, smiling, laughing, and then I go home and I take my phone and I take screenshots of what I like.
Right.
So now I just did my own photo shoot.
Yeah.
So if I'm passing up a nice set of flowers, I stop and I set my phone up, my Samsung Galaxy Note 8. I set
Get
it up.
it. Look at that
and I
promo.
get
Free
pictures from
promo.
that day. So now I've got pictures to choose from when it's like, okay, time to put a picture up of yourself.
Right.
Boom, here's one. Looks like I did a photo shoot. Really, I was just walking to church. On my way to church, there's so many beautiful flowers.
Wow. Hey, you froze for a second. Again, because that's Spectrum. Excuse me, guys, again with the Spectrum, man. I'm telling you, do not get Spectrum. That's all I'm saying. Don't leave. Okay, here we go. She's getting back. Hey, there you go.
To church, there's so many beautiful flowers on that street.
Right.
So if I feel like I'm having a decent day, you know, my hair is doing decent, my face is doing decent or whatever, I will take pictures while I'm on my way to church. And it looks like I did some kind of photo shoot. And it's like, no, I'm just walking into church.
That's dope.
So there are ways to like, okay, figure that out. You know what I mean?
And
People just like to look at nice pictures.
And the key thing too, what you did was free. So
Free.
So, because instead of paying a photographer $300 to $400, because I know how it could be, because I did a lot of producing. One thing anybody could tell you or anybody ask you, my dream job was always to be president of operations. And when I say president of operations, I'm talking about I'm a huge NBA fanatic.
Yeah.
So controlling negotiations, trade talks, setting up the right team for the right opportunity to get a championship. That's something that I always get excited for. I know this is nerdy.
Cool.
This is nerdy as hell. Like I have an Xbox and I play 2K, NBA 2K. And when I play, I get excited for the end of the season when it's time to go ahead and negotiate. Like when it's time to like build my team. All right, I got this type of cap. So I gotta stay below this much. So I only could get a certain amount of players. Now their levels are overall good for this, but I need more defense. So I need to not pick him. Let me pick him that in the third. That is how I do the clover line. That's how I do. For example, I have a partner, JSNL, which I mentioned at the beginning of the show. JSNLonline.com is actually my partner's clover line. He inspired me to start mine. Due to the fact of learning from him, I was the one that set up the photo shoots. I put the photographer together. I put the models together. And these are regular people that I already knew that I inspired them. And now actually 2 of them are now doing runways now.
Good.
They came from, I don't think I could do it. I don't like to be in front of the camera. To now, they over here. I just seen one in the mall a few years ago when I was in Virginia, getting clothes because she had a runway to go to. Like, and it's great to see that. And I don't do it for, oh, Ariel, you were the one. You know, Ariel is, by the way, is my government name. But you were the one that got me. It's not for that. It's not for that. I just knew that this is something that will look good for all of us. I'm a very loyal guy, so it's like if I tell you something, I'm going to do it. You know, you could trust in me. I'm going to do it. I'm gonna make it happen. If I don't, I'm more hard on myself than anybody could be to me, ever. Right. And I think that's how anybody should be. You got to be hard on yourself. You came in this world by yourself. You are about to leave this world by yourself. Yeah. Okay? And I think this world is so, it could be a beautiful place, but it's very ugly at times. And it could be very dirty as well, especially, you already know, entertainment business, that's all it is.
And you're on your own.
And you're on your own. And
you're on your own.
They'll tell you.
It takes a team for anybody to be successful in Hollywood.
Facts.
But at the end of the day, they're still there to do their part of the team. And if that thing falls apart, they're going to take their skill and their access and everything else, and they're going to go somewhere else and get it done. And you as the artist or the creative or whoever is like back by yourself. Like you are on your own. Because
they also have a family. They also probably have responsibility. Like I have a wife and 2 girls. And one thing about it is, it's like, that's who's always on my mind. Okay. Right. This is, I would never put their life into jeopardy. Obviously if you were single, you single, by the way? Yes. Okay. For all the gentlemen, she is single, guys. So
don't be in my look. Don't be in
they're gonna be in the, they're gonna be in the inbox. They're gonna be like, yo.
If you're not talking about it, stay out. Okay.
I'm looking for help for this script that I write in here.
Oh yeah. We can talk services.
Late night dinners, I'm over. Nah, let me stop. Best believe that's gonna be a few of my friends that's gonna be like, yo, who that? Who is that? Bruh, chill. Now you being thirsty.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? God dang. But anyways, I even lost my train of thought. But being like single.
People have
responsibilities.
Other responsibilities. And I think as we mature, we have to understand that being selfish is an okay thing.
To a point now.
Yeah.
To a level. Yeah. To a level.
Like
so
you don't want to, throw other people under the bus.
Correct.
But you also have to understand that if I have my own responsibilities, I got to do what I got to do. And it's not always because I dislike you, I hate you, I don't want you to succeed, blah, blah, blah. But if you have people at home to feed, you're going to do whatever you need to make sure that they get fed, as long as you don't have to later on have a conversation with God about like, choices. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But it's like, if we all understand that and understand that energy is just passing around, you know what I mean? It's just passing around, and people are doing what they have to do, and you're hoping that energy stays positive and that you get where you're supposed to go.
Right.
Like I don't have time to be upset because you did what you needed to do to make sure you can pay your bills. I can't be mad about that. Because I got to do what I got to do.
Exactly. And see, this is my thing too. Whenever you're doing something good, there's always going to be an obstacle to it.
Always. That's what writing is about.
Correct.
You don't watch a film and somebody says, I want to win the gold medal. And the very next scene, they're standing there with a gold medal.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, no, they had to put in the effort, and then something had to push them back to make them think that they weren't going to ever be able to achieve that goal. And then they have to push more so that when they do achieve it and they win, we're in the audience like, yeah. Because like we feel like we won too. We went on that journey with them. So there's always going to be, something trying to get in your way, always a hurdle.
There's always going to be a hurdle. And with that being said, like, when it comes down to it, you still also have to do right by others. Yes. So you could leave that, like for the situation, like if I have a teammate, fortunately this business is about to slowly but surely go down. I'm going to ride it out with him to the point that he understands when it gets to a certain level, I have to do what I got to do because I have this, I have you single and I have my wife and kids here.
Right.
You know,
and it's also about communication. A lot of people don't communicate.
Correct.
A lot of people just wait until the ship is sinking and then
because they're afraid.
Then pulls out their raft, blows it up, jumps off. Meanwhile, the other person is drowning. And it's like, but you could have said to me a long time ago that you had a raft, and then I could have started planning to go get my raft.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But you didn't say anything.
You didn't say anything.
So now I'm not upset because you decided to save your wife and kids. I'm upset because you let me drown. And I didn't have to if you just would have communicated with me.
Exactly. And I think that's why this is when people get scarred. And for the people that drown, no longer wants to team up with anybody.
Right, exactly.
And then now they missing opportunities and blessings left and right on good people. Because, and now, no, I could do this on my own, man. I know so-and-so did this to me, that, and the third. I could do this on my own. Now they are exhausted. They are frustrated. They are.
If you can't enjoy the life that you're working so hard at,
exactly.
then what's the point?
What is the point? And then you taking baby steps the whole time. So you now busting your ass and like losing sleep left and right. Got black eyes and everything. Like somebody punched you in your face. And you taking baby steps. You just got to this step. Like when you could have had 4 extra hands and it would have been a little bit further than this. Like it's and one thing people lose, and I always said this on the show too, because I say it at the end of every show, God over everything, is that they lose sight of God. And like I think people need to communicate with God first before they even make any decisions. I'm a Christian. You know, I'm not perfect, and I don't think anybody in this world is. So, yes, I do curse every once in a while. And, yes, I have a beer every once in a while. I'm not going to lie about it. So, I'm not playing by the rules completely. But at the end of the day, it's one thing I believe in and I trust in, and I also speak upon is my God. So, one thing about it is I speak on him before I make any decisions, before anything.
And then listen to him because he'll tell you.
Exactly.
Like he'll tell you, like there's this little feeling, this little quiet thing that's happening.
Right.
We like to call it our gut.
Right.
You know, but it's like, listen, like that's what I've been doing this whole time. There is no way in reality I should be able to pay my rent every month.
That's beautiful.
Without having a job. You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
There's no way that should be happening. But I am following where he is telling me to go. And he said, going out to LA. When I got here, I had no job and no place to live. Wow. Nothing whatsoever. And here I am 6 months later, got a place to live. That's what we're looking at right now. It's tiny, but it's mine. You know,
right.
And I haven't had 1 month yet where I'm like, whoo, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay those bills. And clients, like what they don't tell you about being an entrepreneur. So I'm going to tell y'all just in case nobody's ever told you. Right. What they don't tell you about being an entrepreneur is that it's inconsistent.
Oh,
what you make this month, you might not make next month.
It's retail.
Like you have a good month and then you have a bad month and then you have an okay 2 months and then you have a bad, you know. So I could have 20 clients 1 month and the next month 3. And then the next month 10. And then, you know, like you just never know what it's going to be.
Right.
But he still made it so regardless of the number of clients I've had, whatever services they buy, I'm good. I'm still going to be able to survive and pay my bills and do the things that I need to do. So it's just amazing, like, and that's because even though I had gone to New York to get into one of these shows, when I got into one, he said to me, don't go there, just move to LA. And I was like, but I don't have anywhere to live. Just go to LA. Okay. So I did. And here I am.
That's dope, man. I salute you. One thing about it is there's not a lot of people, especially at this time of day, 2019 is with social media built up where it pushes people to do social media like this is the only way you could be famous is doing stupid shit, doing jump off of a roof and break your legs. You're gonna get a lot of hits. You get famous.
And then people are like doing it.
And they do it. Oh, really? Just to show face. Yeah. I mean, stuck on their phones where they, you know, you got the whole family just actually stuck on the phones and not even communicating with themselves.
Yeah,
like to
isn't
see,
that sad?
It's sad.
And I have to catch myself because a lot of my business happens on my phone.
Yeah.
So I would say 90% of the time, 80% of the time, if I'm on my phone, I'm doing business.
Right.
But I'm still in my phone. I might as well be on Instagram. I might as well be on Facebook.
True.
You know what I mean?
But you handling business. You handling business. But what I was about to say is you doing something that a lot of people are not strong enough to do. And that's to take a leap. To jump.
Leap.
That's and not literally leap off the roof, like I said, and jump and break your legs. I'm talking about take a leap of faith.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and real talk, I did the same thing last year. And when I mean that, I came from Florida to Texas I'm now electrician. I'm an apprentice. And I never, ever been an electrician before. I never even took it in school. I mean, it's been so long since I've been in school. It's '02. So it's like, it's been a long time. And around that time in high school, I never took shit serious. I just wanted to pass and graduate, get my diploma, get the hell out and make some money. And really, I never had a future. I never had something I could settle on. You know, I wanted to play ball, of course, but when I knew I couldn't handle playing rec ball and the rules and all that, that was out of the question. So it's like sales and retail was it. For 19 years, I was doing sales and retail. Yeah. And to take a leap into a trade at my age with, you know, 2 girls, and to move to Texas where I don't know nobody. Yeah. Yo, and now, yo, it's that leap of faith that you have to take, and I salute you. Because for you to come and move to New York, which, by the way, is also a big market, too. So you could ignore that, too, and be like, yo, I'm in a big market here. LA is the same thing. What's so different? So for you to listen and say, you know what? Okay, I just got here, but I got to dip. Same thing with me with Florida. I was there for 2 years before I just dipped. And I been wanting to move to Florida because it's tropical. I'm Puerto Rican. Yeah. I'm Puerto Rican. I don't know a lick of Spanish, okay? I understand it, but I wanted to get with my culture and really learn and know how it's like to be around, Caribbeans, you know, like just being around it, because I in New York, I grew up, if you could hear, I grew up in a black culture. Like that's majority that's all it's been is that. And I had my, but we Spanglish, and you can't really count that. Like, it's not truly Puerto Rican. They didn't come from Puerto Rico. They were born here. So it's like, you want that. You just missing something. The roots. Exactly. That's what I'm missing. The roots. So it's like, yo. But then when you get there, it's like, it's nothing that nothing that kind of spiced anything, which thank God for that, because maybe I would not have made the decision I made to dip if it wasn't, because it was a culture shock to me. Yeah. And then now I'm here. So.
Well, I applaud you, because I think I was just talking to somebody about this earlier. I think we get far too caught up on this college thing and this everybody being famous thing. We need electricians. We need people in their trades. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we are pushing a lot of students and kids to go one way when really they should be going the other, because they have a skill set here. You could, like, for example, I always give this example. There are a whole lot of teenagers who like mow lawns, like, you know, during the summers, especially in the South, right? Right. And it's like, he could start his own lawn mowing business. Right. And by the time he's 25, he has everybody else mowing lawns, and he's sitting in the office making all the money.
Facts. But you know why?
More money than the person who he went to high school with, who went to college, who now has debt up to their eyes and can't even get the kind of job that they want to get. This young man who didn't go to college but knew what he wanted and set up his own business is still flourishing.
But you know why? And then, see, now you about to open another box now. See, I'm about to get into some politics. It's the school system. Yeah. Okay? It's the school system. Like, I always wonder, I was like, why they don't ever teach us taxes, how to do our taxes? Why they don't teach us? They don't. They want to teach you, like Christopher Columbus, freaking discovered stuff that people were already in. Like, they want to put all this BS on your mind, thinking that, yo, this, that, and the third. What is that helping me in the future? Me knowing that Christopher Columbus found United States of America in 19 whatever. What is that benefiting me and my future? What is that? No. And the teachers, they underpaid. So with the teachers being underpaid, they're like, yo, whatever. You want an A? Okay, cool. Like,
yeah. Even the best teachers get to a place where they're like, you know what?
Facts. I'm done. Facts. Unfortunately. And that's why we so important. Like, for my kids, I examine each teacher. Like, I don't go that far by Googling them or nothing like that, but I want to have a serious conversation with each of the teachers that my daughters go through. especially my oldest. My oldest, she's autistic. So it's very important to get with the right teacher because we got to keep her at a certain rate.
Right.
The steps is very important because as an autistic child, she is used to something.
Yeah.
Her
She's
routine.
She's a routine.
She has a routine. So if that routine is thrown off, if that teacher is having a bad day that day and she can't change her mood because she's having a bad day at home, that's not the right teacher. That teacher has to be supernatural. She has to be amazing. She has to love these kids. She can't be just a teacher because she's making a paycheck. She has to make sense for my child. If she doesn't make sense, and we have annual meetings here. It's not annual meetings, but like monthly meetings here. I'm not playing, especially my wife. She don't play. She shows up to the school with paperwork already prepared here. Like everything is moving accordingly to my daughter. My youngest, same thing. My youngest, she's like a mini me. She looks just like me, but she's 7 years old. She's mad short, but she act like she's 27. You know, and she's like little big sister. Like she's just like my wife, but she looks like me. So it's just like same for her. Even though she doesn't need the help that my autistic child needs, like speech therapy and OT and all those stuff, still we on top of it. Like, yo, you have to be, because we understand how the world is. The world is giving you crumbs here. They're giving you crumbs. We were born with a ceiling. No matter how anybody think of it, oh, this is a freedom of speech, freedom. No, stop it. Let's be realistic here. Nothing is free. Okay? My personal reason. I don't know. I'm not speaking for you. I'm speaking for me. But in a sense.
No, I mean, it's not made up for everybody to get a slice of the pie.
Exactly. It's only for the rich to get richer.
Yeah, we're supposed to have levels. We have to, as far as America is concerned.
Correct. And in a way, America scares you because it's like, okay, like, you remember that whole Illuminati, the whole Illuminati situation was kicking off at one point, at 1 year, where you had to sell your soul just to get above that class.
Yeah, wow.
You know, like really, like you had to get that. And it's like, man, the world put that poison in your brain that you have to do something to sacrifice. To get something where you want. Oh, no, you got to be minimum wage. Oh, you want to get here? Oh, okay, you're going to need to do something for me. You need to, like, kill all this religion shit, okay? We need to, like, poison everybody with this real world and Kim Kardashian, keep up with the Kardashian bullshit. And we need to go ahead and continue to poison our young kids that you had to be a reality star and pump cement in your ass and in your lips to make it. This is what we got to pump into our kids. So then we could continue to enslave them while the rich continue to make money off of them. Because those doctors, those physicians, pharmacies are the biggest drug dealers. So let's keep feeding that. Yeah. I'm sorry, I got off. I got passionate about it. Please forgive me. I just got passionate. I almost came and put my black suit on and started preaching.
That's right.
But anyways,
cool pick.
Let me get off that. Let's get back. Now, let everybody know, please give them your Instagram, where can we go to contact you, Shannan?
Awesome. So my website is www.awriterforyourwriter.com. And that basically means I have the skills as a writer. So that means I know how to talk to you about getting your writing in the best place. Cool. You can also find me on Instagram at The Professional Pen. You can find me on Facebook at The Professional Pen. And you can find me on Twitter at my name, Shannan E. Johnson. My first name is spelled with an A, not an O. SHANNAN. Middle initial E, last name Johnson. Because guess what? Somebody had already taken The Professional Pen. I'm like,
what?
Yeah, so that's why my website is not The Professional Pen, and that's why my Twitter is not The Professional Pen, because they were already taken. So I had to come up with something else. But you can find all my services on my website. I provide development notes. I do rewrites, revisions. I also do ghostwriting, and then I also do pitch preparation. So I make sure that your script is in the best shape it can be before you walk into any room or before you submit it to any contest or anything. And then I also prepare you if you have to go in the room and do an oral pitch, or even if you want to make pitch documents that you're going to leave behind or you have to send later. I work with you from every step of the writing process, pitch to production.
Dope. Okay, now what I'm gonna also do is
Okay.
I'm gonna have you, Shannon, send me a small bio,
Okay.
with picture, best,
Great.
whatever picture you choose. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up a flyer, and I want to do and promote you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. We working on flyers. We actually just started working on flyers and stuff, and I'm trying to get on my, like I told you, the creative juices. Me and my
Yeah.
partner, we trying to get into it. So I want to set up a flyer for you and promote you. Um, and of course continue to promote this particular show, this episode. And I am gonna put the description of all the platforms on
Okay.
here as well on the YouTube account and
Okay.
Facebook. I'm gonna make sure to do so. But again, I thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for tuning in, and it came from doing 30 minutes to an hour.
Because we were vibing.
Yes, definitely vibing, and I want to definitely do this again. I would love to have you back on again.
Just let me know.
For sure, I will do so. And again, guys, if you want to hit up Shannon, hit up her platforms. Definitely hit her up on the website, awriterforyourwriter.com. Okay, definitely hit her up. She's amazing. She's doing, I salute this. I salute you for real. Like it's just I'm so happy to see people living out their dreams, because it's like every time I see a lot of failures. It's too often I see too many failures. I mean, you got to go through your obstacles, but it's what you do after you fall.
Failure's not an option.
It isn't. It would never be. Never
It just
be.
has to work.
It has to.
work.
It has to.
That's it.
It's not. What are you living for?
Yeah.
Not to say don't cut yourself and those. Please.
That's not what we're saying.
We're not saying that. Please don't do that. Call the hotline. All right, but anyways, thank you again, Shannon, for tuning in.
Thank you.
For joining me, and I would love to have you back soon. All right.